No, you guys have to. You guys have to stay there the whole night. You got to stay up there the whole night. On behalf of Newbridge Academy, we would like to welcome everyone to our first annual Athletics Award Banquet. Welcome. Yeah, exactly. My name is Bobby Mack from Q104, and we'd like to talk about some of the highlights and success stories this year. Soccer and baseball had their very first games. Yes, very good. The U16 boys hockey won the Leo Boivin tournament, won the Bishop's College Invitational, and were regular season champions in the PSHF and the ECEL leagues. Maybe next year you could try harder. Bantam boys hockey won the Avalanche March Meltdown Championship in Mississauga. The U14 and U16 girls both won the Sweetheart Tournament in PEI. Yeah! And as most of you are aware, this is our first year in the new building. And with that, we would like to extend our gratitude to some of our key partners that made all of this happen. Thank you to Dora Construction, Summerled, and Sports and More. There's John down there. Cost you a lot of money to get that one in there, didn't it, John? We would also like to welcome Troy Ryan, assistant coach of the Canadian Women's Olympic Hockey Team. We'll hear from Troy later this evening. Our student athletes are very fortunate to have a great group of coaches and instructors leading their athletic development. If we could have the following coaches stand to be recognized, and please hold your applause to the end. For baseball, Trevor Wambach. Golf, Andrew Noseworthy. Soccer, Graham Chandler. Training staff, Newbridge's own Carolyn McEachran and the coaches from 360 Fit. For hockey, Kiefer House, Olivier Filion, Matt Anthony, Donnie Grant, Damon McEachran, Cody Anthony, Nick Croft, Pete Lenahan, and Dana Drake. We would also like to extend our thanks to Patty Flynn and Steve Patillo for their time and dedication. We would also like to recognize those behind the scenes that contributed to the success of our programs this year. Thanks also go out to Nicole Drake, Joel. Stand up, yes, stand up. You made me lose my place. Joe Reeves. God, I hope I say the name right. Claudine Spilsvogel. Close enough? Was that good? Alex Rowe. Al Rollin. Juanita McKenzie for your contributions. Thank you. You may now sit down. Thank you. Thanks. Finally, a thank you to all of the Newbridge teachers, families, billets, and volunteers for everything that you have done to make this year a success. It would not have happened without you. Yeah. And now it's time for dinner. We have craft dinner around the corner. It's creamy and runny. Enjoy it. No, it's brought to you by the Italian Market. Drinks are available at the bar. It's just over here. So let's eat. Ladies and gentlemen, Newbridge Academy is pleased to welcome Troy Ryan to our inaugural athletic banquet. Troy was an assistant coach with the 2018 Canadian Women's Hockey Team in Pyeongchang, Korea. He has enjoyed a decorated coaching career thus far, including appointments with Hockey Canada at the World Junior A and the World U17, Hockey Nova Scotia with Team Nova Scotia in the Canada Winter Games, Maritime Junior Hockey League, and in the CIS. Troy brings a wealth of coaching experience, and having played CIS hockey with UNB, can relate to our student athletes and their current path. Ladies and gentlemen, Troy Ryan.
Well, thanks very much for having me. I appreciate it. Special thanks for Kiefer House, obviously, for giving me the invite. Just looking around the room, it's impressive to see, you know, the staff was announced earlier, and it kind of brought back a lot of memories for me. Honestly, there's people in the room here that I've either played with, won championships with, lost championships with. There's some athletes here in the room, or some coaches that were athletes at one point that I won championships with or lost championships with. Even seen Matt Anthony, we always make a joke. I think I cut Matt 6 or 7 times. It's actually a true story. I released him one time, and Kirk Thompson will tell you how important communication is here for coaches. I released him one time, and he came back the next day. So my communication skills were not great as a coach, but I could talk about perseverance here, and he'd be my poster boy. So great to have people like that obviously involved in the game. I think it's definitely special, and you guys are. It's incredible what's been created here over the last number of years, and although I haven't really been around Nova Scotia for the last 5 or 6 years, it's a pleasure to be back, and what an honor just to have the opportunity to speak in front of this group. If I look a little frazzled, I actually had meetings earlier today, and as sad as it sounds, I got changed in the rink parking lot over there, so hopefully there's no charges pending. When I look at what's been established here and the kind of culture that you guys have created, honestly, hats off to the people, the administrators, the owners, the sponsors, everybody that has created this type of atmosphere. It's very special. I think it's special for our region, and you know, hats off, and just continue to go. I look at my own career a lot of times, and I look at maybe what has possibly separated me from some other coaches that had similar goals. And I honestly can see that it's being created here. And although a lot of young athletes are great in skills, great in physical strength and conditioning, all that sort of thing, I think what's most important, which is starting to be lacking from definitely from hockey, but sports in general, is just core values. And when I look at what you guys are establishing here and what's important to Newbridge Academy, it's definitely a set of values that I think are very important moving forward. So hats off to everybody that is creating that type of culture, because culture can kill strategy at any point. Just to get a little bit, to talk a little bit about, I guess, you know, what I think, just personally, not what Hockey Canada believes, but what I believe separates some great athletes from good athletes. And the number one thing that I think about is just drive. And the drive, like, one thing that we always see is we see superstar athletes, and we see their end result. We never see the journey that got them to be that superstar athlete. And when I just look at just recently what I had the experience or the honor to be a part of the Olympic team, I look at someone local like Jill Saunier. Everybody looks at someone like Jill Saunier as someone that potentially has it all for a female athlete involved at the pinnacle of her game. But people don't understand how difficult her journey was at times. And I, with all the speaking that she's been doing recently, I don't think she gets into it too much. But right before, probably a month, 2 months before, we shortened down our list for centralization. So the girls, the 28 girls that are prepared to make the Olympic team, we announced our World Championship roster, and Jill Saunier was released at that point. So her whole life was driven towards the 2018 Olympics. She knew that was in her mind, and the first event, that event right before the Olympic team is announced, she gets released. Okay, and a lot of times that would end people's careers based on how they handled it. She knew she had a small window of opportunity, but what she did, and some may be aware of this, she completely shut down her social media altogether. She shut down Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and just decided to focus extra on training. She knew we had a camp coming up, a boot camp focused all around strength and conditioning. We had a boot camp in Fredericton, New Brunswick, and her main goal was to show up and be the most fit athlete at that camp, to get a little more recognition, to get her on that centralization roster. So she shows up at camp, completely committed to her new goals and a new direction for her career, and she ended up coming second. Marie-Philippe Poulin was number 1 in her fitness, and Jill Saunier was number 2. So as a coach who had, honestly, it was the worst conference call I've ever had to be a part of, when, you know, Jill's Halifax's poster girl for hockey. I'm finally getting an opportunity at that level, and now I'm part of breaking her dream. So it's just incredible. If you only look at the end result, Jill being an Olympian, and you don't look at her journey, you don't quite appreciate her as much as you should. And with that, right before in the semifinal game, Jillian Saunier blew out her knee. But because of the athlete and how fit she was still able to get medical clearance and play in that gold medal game. So as young athletes, young coaches as well, just important, instead of focusing on that end result, which with superstars is usually greatness, try to focus a little bit on that journey as well. Another thing, I wish I was a little taller, confidence. I always talk a couple things that, to me, and this is my own opinion, that Atlantic Canadian athletes lack at times. Number 1 is confidence. Number 2 is strength and conditioning. We don't have the early training years that a lot of other athletes will have in other areas of the country or other areas of the world. I think we're catching up in that area. But confidence is very key. I remember an old coach used to talk about an old story about 2 wolves. Sounds kind of funny, but 2 wolves. One was a positive wolf, one was a negative wolf. They were going to have a big epic battle one day. So a young girl says to the mother, what wolf do you think's going to win? Generally, her thoughts were the wolf that you feed. So continue to feed that positive wolf, and good things are going to happen, right? I look at just some local people. Obviously, Brad Marchand got himself in the news recently for some licking habits. But the one thing I will say, I had the opportunity to coach him when he was younger. In 2006, I believe, he was drafted by the Boston Bruins in the 3rd round, 71st overall. I had the opportunity that summer, I think he was coming maybe that next year to play for the Mooseheads. I'm not 100% sure on the facts. But I remember seeing Brad at the Halifax Forum. There was a bunch of pro athletes or pro players that were getting some ice, and they asked me to run some sessions for them. I looked at Brad. It was pretty funny to me. He had full Boston Bruins gear on, a jersey, everything. He was committed to that program right from day one. And I remember saying to him, you know, congratulations, you were just drafted. You know, what are your plans for next year? Who do you see yourself playing with? And he looked at me like I was crazy for asking the question. And those who understand the NHL draft, it's not that quick. You don't get drafted and then automatically step into the NHL. It takes some time. You usually hone your skills in the AHL for a little bit, back to junior for a year. But in Brad's mind, all right, and the reason he's so successful is he thought, Bruins drafted me, I'm playing for the Bruins. Right? But it's that mentality that has separated him from a lot of people in our region. He obviously takes it to an extreme at some point, but it's that passion and that confidence that he had from an early age that makes him so successful. So once again, we see what Brad is now and how successful he is as a local athlete in the NHL. He's a superstar. There's no one that can deny that. But you look, people forget that Brad played 2 years in Providence and didn't score a goal his first season in the NHL. He played 20 games, he had 1 assist. All right, so if you only look at the end result and not the struggle or the journey away, you don't quite have as much of an appreciation for him. So we can learn a lot, what not to do and what to do as well. But the confidence that he has is it's impeccable, so something that we can learn from. Another thing, so drive, confidence, I think are huge. Calmness is something that I think is so important. And it's not something that's ever really discussed. I remember my first game at the Olympics, And honestly, I grew up, and for those that are aware, I grew up out in Spryfield. So for someone from Spryfield who wasn't an ex-NHL player to have an opportunity to be at an Olympic Games, it's something special. But I remember my equipment manager is Serge LeBlanc. He's from New Brunswick. And right before the opening puck drops, he looks over at me and he reaches out to give me a little knuckle tap. And he just says, "Who the F are we kidding to be at the Olympics?" And I remember thinking, the girls looked back and they just kind of shook their head. They were scared to death at that point, nervous about what was to come with the Olympics. And I was just in a nice, comfortable place. Seemed no different than being at a Challenge Cup or in a local event. And that calmness, I think, is very important. And I think I got it from a superstar way back when. I remember I was telling Kirk this story earlier. I was a big players in the room or athletes in the room will remember this player, but Joe Montana was a great great quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. And I remember as a kid, he was my idol, and he was my idol because of how calm he was in pressure situations. And there's a play called The Drive. I think the score in the game was 16-13. There was 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go. They needed to go 92 yards to get a touchdown. And Joe Montana, as all quarterbacks do, get the group into a huddle. And the first thing he does is he kind of snickers and he laughs. And no one's going to remember this name either, but he laughs and he's like, "Did anybody see, is that John Candy up there in the stands?" So John Candy's an old famous actor. And that's the mentality that he had. And the players were all getting concerned as the time clock's going. And they said, "Joe, what's the play? What's the play?" He just said, "Just get open." So that's to win a Super Bowl. His mentality was he knew the pressure that those athletes are going to be under in such a high point in their career, and he knew to take the leadership just to calm it all down, relax, get people patient, and generally good things will happen from there. Another thing, emotional control. I think coaches sometimes have difficulty with this. I definitely did for a greater part of my career. But I think it's something that if managed properly, it can be very valuable. And I think coaches also have to learn, and I think when I learned this, I became a much better coach, that all athletes are different, and we don't want them all to be squeezed into a box. Some athletes benefit from being a really calm, emotional player or emotional athlete, while some need to be up here. Right? And I always, with my players, I'll always take sort of a bell curve, and everybody's point, right, that peak or where they're their best is completely different. And I think for coaches is to find where that emotional control is, but also give your players some freedom to find their own emotional control, which makes them successful. Just a couple things. I'm not going to bore you too long here, but one thing that's I guess was an honor for me is Hockey Canada has a lot of ability to tap into different resources. And one thing that I've learned is the best up-and-coming coaches or best up-and-coming athletes or administrators or business people generally learn from the best. So I had an opportunity this year, or right before the Olympics, so last year, to meet with Sir Graham Henry, who's the legendary coach of the All Blacks rugby team. And just a couple things that I learned. I first saw him present and then had an opportunity to chat with him for a little bit. It's just amazing. He talked a lot about culture, but if anybody's ever read the book Legacy, he talks about sweeping the sheds. So in their culture, like I look at hockey, and in their hockey culture, it's almost an insult for a player to have to pack a bus, to clean up a dressing room, all those sorts of things. It's become a negative in our culture of hockey. But in his culture with the rugby team, the most successful sports franchise in the world, professional sports franchise in the world, he's created the culture that has become an honor. So they sweep the sheds. Literally, they go in after they're using the dressing room on the road, and the captains and assistant captains on his team take it as an honor to clean that room, to leave it exactly how they're left. So when I look at that, the power of culture and just a little shift in mentality from the people that are in leadership positions can be very powerful. So that just kind of continues through. Another thing that he mentioned, he talked a lot about goal setting. And I'll be honest, when I was a younger athlete, most in this room would be much better than I ever thought of being, but he talked a lot about goal setting. And I honestly, I remember when I was in college, we talked about goal setting a lot, and it bored me, to be honest. I didn't want to get into it too much, but most successful people do. So he really simplified it, and he just said, stop, keep, and start. So stop the things that aren't making you successful. Keep the things that are making you successful, and you might want to start doing things that possibly make people around you successful. So I thought it was simple for those that don't want to get into the nitty-gritty or the details of goal setting. Just stop, keep, and start. And then in closing here, I'm going to try to tell a kind of a funny little story, but it's generally something that I'll do with sort of the women's Olympic team or the older girls, but you'll probably think I'm crazy after this one, but try to picture this scenario. And this is, if anybody has ever heard or seen of Wayne Dyer, he's since passed away, but he's sort of a motivational life coach. And he talks about a scenario one time, and he says, just try to picture this scenario. So I come home from work, all right, so I go upstairs, I got my keys in my hand, my phone rings. So I go to grab my phone, pick up the phone. It's my buddies. They want to go out for a bite to eat or a drink after work. So as I'm talking to them, the power goes out in my apartment. So as the power goes out, I put my keys down on the coffee table, and as I'm trying to get around the living room, I knock the coffee table and the keys fall down. So I go down on my hands and knees, and I start searching in this pitch black dark room looking for the keys. Can't find them, struggling to find them. But out of the corner of my eye, I see a street light on outside. So I think to myself, why am I on my hands and knees in my living room with the lights out, it's dark, when I can be outside underneath the street light looking for my keys? So obviously sounds a little crazy. So I go downstairs, start looking underneath the street light, and my neighbor sees me down on my hands and knees, says, well, what are you doing? Well, I lost my keys, so I'm just looking for my keys. So the neighbor, not knowing all the information, gets down on their knees and starts searching underneath the streetlight. Obviously not going to be successful, but the neighbor says, what are you doing? How about we retrace our steps, figure out where you lost your keys? He said, well, I know where I lost the keys. I was upstairs in my apartment, the power went out, keys were on my coffee table. When I knocked over the coffee table, they fell down. So the neighbor kind of reiterates this whole story. You're telling me we're here looking for your keys when you know you lost them upstairs. And the only reason I give that type of message, it sounds crazy, but it's something we do. I know players, athletes do it all the time. They have maybe an issue on their team. Things aren't going well. They're not getting proper time. They didn't get to wear a C. They didn't get to wear an A. They quickly take that problem outside of their team to maybe a boyfriend or a girlfriend, some of the older athletes in the room, maybe to an agent, maybe to their parents. And a lot of times you're not sharing all the information with that boyfriend, girlfriend, parent, agent. You're only giving them half the information, and they're trying to make a decision that can help you. So I think what's important is when you are searching for that help, searching for that advice, make sure that you've taken responsibility for your own actions. So you've trained hard, you've been a good teammate, you've been competitive, all those things, good player, good teammate, good classmate, good person, all right, before you start looking for solutions outside of the problem. So a little bit of a crazy story to prove a little bit of a point, but I think it's so important. When I look at a facility like this, a program like Newbridge Academy, the sports programs that you guys offer, all of that is great. It's unbelievable, right? And I think you guys are privileged and honored to have that opportunity, but it's only valuable if you yourself take responsibility to make the most of what's being provided for you. If you do that, some good things will happen. And I say to my girls all the time, because good things happen to good people. Thanks very much for having me.
Thank you, Troy. And just for the students out there, phones didn't always have lights on them. That's kind of a point, too. I can see some kids out there going, why didn't you just turn on his light? We will now move on to our awards ceremony. Last call to the bar, too, by the way. Last call to the bar, so kids, get over there. For the awards, each athletic program will present awards for most improved player and coaches award. Varsity teams will present most valuable player, most improved player, and coaches award. The most improved player award, this award is presented to a player who is honored for their work ethic, determination, and positive attitude in improving their skills and abilities over the course of the year. It is awarded to an individual who works hard, shows marked improvement, as measured from the beginning to the end of the season. The Coaches Award is presented to the athlete or athletes on each sports team whom the coach feels contributed the most to the team during the year, taking into account sportsmanship, dedication, character, and contribution to the team. And the award for most valuable player is presented to a player who has the largest impact on the team, on and off the ice in a positive way. Winning this award should encompass outstanding skills, performance, dedication to the team, putting teammates and coaches first, maximum effort at the player's position, and contribution to the team being victorious. And now on to our awards. First up, the golf program. We'd like to invite Kiefer House to the stage to present these awards. Our most improved player nominees are Danny O'Regan and Hudson Forward. You guys can come up here. Our 2018 Golf Most Improved Player Award goes to Danny O'Regan. Our Coaches Award nominees are Hudson Forward and Jared Frazier. Come on back up here, Hudson. And the 2018 Golf Coaches Award goes to Jared Frazier. Up next is the baseball program. We would like to invite Trevor Wambach to the stage to present these awards. Our nominees for Most Improved Player, Nathan Boutlier, Julian Pawnee, and Alex Willett. And the 2018 Baseball Most Improved Player goes to Julian Pawnee. The Coaches Award nominees are Aidan McKenzie, Rory White, and Timmy Mann. And the 2018 Baseball Coaches Award goes to Aidan McKenzie. Congratulations. Up next, we'll get Kiefer to stay up on stage here with us for the U14 Girls Varsity Hockey Team. Our most improved player nominees are Jordan McKenzie, Josie Purdy, and Karis Sullivan. And the 2018 U14 Girls Varsity Hockey Most Improved Player goes to Karis Sullivan. Congratulations, ladies. The Coaches Award nominees, Mackenzie Drake, Allison Hood, and Samantha Blair. Where did I put it? There it is. The 2018 U14 Girls Varsity Hockey Coaches Award goes to Samantha Blair. All right, Samantha, you might want to stay here. Don't go anywhere. Most Valuable Player nominees, Christine Ryan, Samantha Blair, and Abby Hustler. And the 2018 U14 Girls Varsity Hockey Most Valuable Player goes to, and you should win it with this last name, Abby Hustler. Congratulations, ladies. Now for the hockey program, we would ask Kiefer to stay up. Kiefer, are you the only person doing anything tonight? Yeah? Okay, good, good. Our most improved player nominees, Akafumi Asai, Chrissy Hagen, and Adam Crocker. And the 2018 hockey program Most Improved Player goes to Adam Crocker. Oh, you just lost it. Give it back. Congratulations. Our Coaches Award nominees are Bella House, Cooper Fleming, and Jake Dodge. And the 2018 Hockey Program Coaches Award goes to Cooper Fleming. Now for the U14 Boys Varsity Hockey Team, we would like to invite Donnie Grant to the stage to present these awards. Kiefer, take a break. First up, Most Improved Player nominees, Keegan Greencorn, Yaturo Sasaki, and Ben Mercer. And the U14 Varsity Hockey Most Improved Player Award goes to Ben Mercer. He's golfing right now. The Coaches Award nominees, Cameron Bulmer, Angus England, and Seamus Hines. And the 2018 U14 Boys Varsity Hockey Coaches Award goes to Angus England. And now our most valuable player nominees, Cameron McLean, Cameron Bulmer, and Ray Murakami. And I won't read it as it's written here because it says it's the girls' varsity hockey. It's the 2018 U14 Varsity Hockey Most Valuable Player goes to Cameron Bulmer. Congratulations, gentlemen. Now, our junior high school soccer program. We would like to invite Graham Chandler to the stage to present these awards. And we'll start with the most improved player nominees. Ellie Blois, Devin Joy, it's Blois? Ellie Blois, Devin Joy, and Akihiro Enomoto. Akihiro Enomoto. And the 2018 JHS Soccer Most Improved Player goes to Devin Joy. Devin couldn't be here tonight. Good, you're good. Good. Unless you want to take more pictures, go right ahead. Now for the Coaches Award nominees, Bella House, Taylor Bayless, and Akihiro Enomoto. So no, you weren't good. I'll just look ahead and see if you have to stick around. All right. And the 2018 JHS Soccer Coaches Award goes to Akihiro Enomoto. You should be used to this by now. Pictures. Congratulations. Now for our high school soccer program, we'll ask Coach Chandler to remain on stage for these next awards. Our most improved player nominees, Diego Gill, Oliver Armfast, and Maria Tobin. And the 2018 HS Soccer Most Improved Player goes to Diego Gill. Congratulations. And our Coaches Award nominees, Nico House, Maxime Bertrand, and Aiden Weatherby. And the Coaches Award goes to Aiden Weatherby. Oh, he's it. Is that it? Congratulations, gentlemen. And now for the U16 girls varsity hockey team, we would like to bring, oh, he's already here, Kiefer. Our most improved player nominees, Sophie Boujol, Courtney Boone, and Tia Seraphin. I'm getting tired of seeing you. Yeah, ditto, yeah, exactly. No pictures, ma'am, no pictures. And the 2018 U16 girls varsity hockey most improved player goes to Courtney Boone. Time now for the Coaches Award nominees. Haley McKim, Annie Tulp, and Grace Smith. And the 2018 U16 girls varsity hockey most improved player, the Coaches Award nominee, finger was down too far, goes to Haley McKim. Ma'am, we already told you no pictures. Stop that. Congratulations, ladies. Most improved player nominees. No, this is, where did this sheet come from? Dun, dun, dun. Most valuable. Is it on here? Okay. This is most valuable player, Emma Bishop, Stephanie Legier, and Grace Smith. Right down the bottom. And the 2018 U16 girls varsity hockey most valuable player goes to Emma Bishop. Congratulations, ladies. Time now for the U16 boys varsity hockey team. We would like to invite up Olivier Filion to the stage to present these awards. Our most improved player nominees are Jack Taylor, Kyle Lynch, and Alex Arsenault. And the 2018 U16 boys varsity hockey most improved player goes to Kyle Lynch. Time now for the Coaches Award nominees. They are Alex Arsenault, John Beers, and Brandon Casey. Just you? All right. And the Hockey Coaches Award goes to Brandon Casey. Now for the most valuable player, our nominees are Nico Savoie, Ethan Pearson, and Alexandra David. And the 2018 U16 Boys Varsity Hockey Most Valuable Player Award goes to Nico Savoie. I said Savoie earlier, Savoie. Congratulations. Now for the U18 Boys Varsity Hockey Team, we would like to invite Matt Anthony to the stage to present these awards. Our Most Improved Player nominees, William Nault, Curtis Lang, and Noah Adams. And the 2018 U18 Boys Varsity Hockey Most Improved Player goes to Curtis Lang. Our Coaches Award nominees, Matt Helpert, Noah Adams, and Matt Dugan. Duggan. Matt Duggan. Dugan. Dugan sounds better. And the 2018 U18 Boys Varsity Hockey Coaches Award goes to Noah Adams. And our Most Valuable Player nominees are Christopher Pichet. There's no accent aigu on the top of that E. I'm sorry. There's none. It's the only French I remember. Curtis Lang and Alberto Pisson. Is that close enough? Pisson? Pison? Pison? Just you again? Just you? And the Most Valuable Player Award goes to Alberto Pison. And we would like to have the presentation now of the Bernie Bishop Award. We would invite Mrs. Bishop to join us on stage here to help with the presentation of the awards. Now, 5 years ago, Newbridge Academy lost one of its longtime hockey instructors, Mr. Bernie Bishop. To honor his incredible contributions to the school and the community, we created the Bernie Bishop Memorial Award. This award is presented to a Newbridge Academy student that exudes integrity, honesty, commitment to academics, and a genuine love of the game of hockey. This year's nominees constantly strive for excellence both on and off the ice. Teachers and coaches describe them as quiet leaders who are determined to reach their goals while respecting those around them. The nominees are Allison Hood, Matt Duggan, and Annie Tulk. And the 2018 Bernie Bishop Award goes to Allison Hood. Somebody else wants a picture. Congratulations. Thank you, Mrs. Bishop. And now we're going to actually put them to work here. Kiefer, come on up.
I'd like to ask Olivier Filion to come up on stage, please. The next awards are the Newbridge All-Academic Team. These awards are emblematic of the virtues of our school. Recipients have been selected by the coaches and teaching staff to recognize student athletes that have represented the values and beliefs of Newbridge Academy during the past academic year. These students have achieved the highest standards of academic accomplishment and athletic prowess while representing the positive citizenship we are striving to instill in our students. Here are the selections for the 2018 Newbridge All-Academic Team. Representing the golf program, Logan Forward. For junior high baseball, KJ Godso. Yeah, stay up. Yeah. Junior high school soccer, Bella House. U14 girls varsity hockey, Mackenzie Drake. U14 boys varsity hockey, Kieran Rennie. From the hockey program, Oliver Arnfast. From the baseball program, Timmy Mann. From the U16 girls hockey team, Taylor Homer. From the U16 boys varsity hockey, John Beers. From high school soccer, Nico House. And from the U18 boys varsity hockey, William No. the hair. So yeah, we got to squeeze everybody in for a picture. Maybe move up on the wood there, guys. Yeah. Good. Yeah. We'll get you to stay and do the next ones. Yeah, student athletes. Our next awards are the Newbridge Academy Student Athlete of the Year Awards. We'll ask Olivier to stay on stage for the next presentations. These awards are the final presentations of the evening. What is a student athlete? At Newbridge, being a student athlete is for most a way of life. It's a part of their identity, what makes them tick, and what enables them to be successful. When we think of the ideology behind being a student athlete, we envision certain characteristics. Words that come to mind are competitive, driven, determined, articulate, model citizen, mature, compassionate, intelligent, role model, and leader. At Newbridge, we are very fortunate that we are surrounded by many students that fit this profile, which in turn makes the process of identifying nominees for our Student Athlete of the Year Awards very challenging, but the type of challenge that we are very proud and grateful to accept. These awards are the benchmark for our athletic programs, as these student athletes have exemplified the values that Newbridge expects from its students. Now for the awards. We would like to ask the following students to come to the stage as nominees for the 2018 Junior High School Newbridge Female Athlete of the Year. Samantha Blair. Bella House. And Mackenzie Drake. The 2018 Junior High School Female Student Athlete of the Year Award goes to Samantha Blair. All together, yeah, yeah. Great, thanks, girls. Yeah, they each got one, yeah. Okay, you're good. The next award is the 2018 Junior High Newbridge Male Athlete of the Year. Those nominees are KJ Godso, Oliver Arnfast, and Logan Forward. The 2018 Junior High School Male Student Athlete of the Year Award goes to Oliver Arnfast. Thanks, guys. Next award is the 2018 High School Newbridge Female Athlete of the Year. Nominees are Haley McKim, Tia Seraphin, and Emma Bishop. The 2018 High School Female Student Athlete of the Year Award goes to Emma Bishop. Our final award for the evening is the 2018 High School Newbridge Male Athlete of the Year. Nominees are Timmy Mann, Christopher Pichet, and Nico House. The 2018 High School Male Student Athlete of the Year goes to Christopher Pichet. That concludes our award presentation for this evening. Before we leave, just a few closing remarks. For those of us that have been around Newbridge before the new building, it's been quite a year. We've made a lot of history this year by opening the doors on our wonderful new facility. We've seen the continued success of our hockey programs. We've seen the inclusion of soccer and baseball in a competitive format for our potential varsity or future varsity programs. The future looks very bright. I'd like to extend congratulations again to all the nominees and award winners. I can't express to everyone enough how challenging a process it was for the staff athletically and the teachers to select those nominees. That's a great testament to the students that we have in our school, and I think really speaks to the growth that we've seen at Newbridge in the last number of years. I'd like to thank all the coaches and teachers for their efforts in putting this all together. It was a great team effort, which we try to pass on to the students on a daily basis, but we have to put into practice as well. I'd also like to extend our thanks to Bobby Mack for being our MC tonight. He did a great job. A special thanks to Troy Ryan. Troy was a former teammate of mine way back when we were playing junior hockey. For those of you, he didn't speak too much about his own time as a player, but I can tell you he was a true teammate in every sense of the word. He had your back. He was there. He'd do whatever it took for the team to be successful, and really was the definition of a team player. It's great to see him have the success that he's having, and I'm honored that he was a former teammate. Finally, a sincere thank you to all of you, parents, families, supporters, the teachers, coaches, and instructors that we have here at Newbridge, our excellent group of student athletes. We wish you all continued success. And last but not least, to our graduates. We are continuing to pump out bigger and bigger numbers in our graduating class, and the quality of student that is leaving Newbridge now, it seems to exceed itself every year. So best of luck to you in your future endeavors, and make sure you use everything you've been taught. I know you have a great staff of teachers that have been helping you along the way, and your coaches as well, so make sure you heed the advice that they've been giving you. So again, thank you to everybody for the evening. It's been great, and we look forward to seeing everybody here next year. Thank you.